So we're here to launch the 10 days of action on X for from the abortion rights campaign. One of the things we're specifically here to launch are the postcards for X, where we have 30,000 postcards that will be sent to TDs and senators from constituents all over the country, from the 85% of the population who support the introduction of legislation to protect a pregnant woman's life, where it is in danger from her pregnancy. So it's a huge campaign that's really bringing it home to the TDs and senators that this legislation is urgent, it's necessary, and it's supported by vast numbers of the people. We think that the tragic death of Savita Halappanavar certainly had an effect on the campaign. It brought its huge urgency to the forefront. There was a lot of movement on this in 2012 anyway, because of the judgment from the European Court of Human Rights, and the movement forward from that, the pro-choice campaign was kind of galvanised. But certainly Savita's tragic death definitely brought, as we saw in November, huge numbers out in the streets, huge numbers outraged and devastated at this tragic occurrence, and wanting to make sure that it never happens again in this country, never. The women who travel every year in their thousands, 12 women today, 12 women tomorrow, 12 women yesterday, will travel. Women are self-administering abortifacients at home. It's not safe, it's not fair, and it's not just. We can't continue to marginalise women this way, to make women who can't afford to travel self-administer abortifacients at home with no support, in fear because they know what they're doing is highly illegal in this country, maybe not feeling that they can seek the aftercare that they will need afterwards, and forcing women who have money to travel. Women who don't have money, can't afford to do so, are forced to deal with a crisis pregnancy, not knowing what to do. It can't continue like this. It's not equitable, it's not reasonable, it's not just. It is definitely endangering women's lives. As I said, there are women self-administering at home. Now, in many cases, this is highly safe because they are accessing it through reputable feminist organisations who will send out the highly safe abortifacient to use at home, but in some cases they're not. They don't know where to turn to because we don't talk about abortion in this country because it's not safe for women to access. It's definitely dangerous, and we need to see an end put to it. We can see from the HSC report that Savita's death was not necessary, that the sepsis that set in could have been avoided by the termination that she needed, that she should have been offered, as the report says, before she and her husband even asked for it, asked repeatedly as she lay in pain and suffering, unnecessary pain and suffering in her hospital bed in this country in the year 2012. It is unacceptable. It can never be allowed to happen again, and hopefully the outcome of the report, and in conjunction with this campaign, will help to make sure that that is what happens.